All right. This is the first video after my channel name change. Surprise! I changed my name. My channel name, not my name. My name is still Sarah. But I have gone from 445 designs to vintage and painted. I felt like 445 designs, while I did do a Q&A video and I answered the question, what does 445 stand for? In its simplest form, it was the house number where all of this started for me. It was a little abstract, so I wanted to be more purposeful in what the name was, and vintage and painted is so much more me. I love vintage furniture, and you know, I like to paint furniture. So I felt like vintage and painted works really well. Over on my socials, particularly Facebook and Instagram, it's vintage and painted by Sarah because it needed to be. So it's still, you can click the links in all the things and go on over and follow me on any of my socials. It's still me, and I will still be bringing the same content to you guys: makeovers, restorations, DIYs, and what was the other thing I do? I don't know, I can't remember. There's something else I do. Anyway, my content is not changing, just my name. Some people like it, some people don't, but that's okay. I hope you still follow along and you're more here for me, not what the channel's called. Alright, this guy, you may recognize it, right? It's a leather inlay coffee table. It's the coffee table that matched the nightstand slash end tables that I did. I stripped those bad boys, and I'll post a little pic of them, back to raw wood. Oh my word, that was massive. I won't be doing that today, this week. I will be taking the leather out because it's had it. It's horrible. It's peeling up in corners. If it wasn't peeling up, I probably could have painted over the top of it, to be honest, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to peel it off and get rid of the glue that's stuck on the top, and then I'm going to be painting it, and then I'm going to be using IOD's Inlays. I'm so excited. I've had this inlay for a while. Bought it specifically for this coffee table because I knew I was going to get to it, and that's what I wanted to do to this guy. So stick around and let's get into it. Alright, first things first, I've got to get this thing off. I get right into my work. There we go. Alright. So gross. Alright you guys, little bonus. That was a little peek at a behind the scenes video that I post for my channel members. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm going to say it every single week because I am so grateful for you and the community, your input and your support. If you have been thinking about joining memberships, you can click the join button below. That takes you to a video and it lists all the benefits of becoming a member. Alright you guys, let's get back to the video. look at the leg I was just sanding. I don't know what happened. Somebody truly attacked this. So I'm going to take my wood fill. It's stainable, but it's also paintable and it's quick drying. So I'm going to put those in the holes and call it a day. Alright, you guys, I have been sick as a dog for the last 3 days. Pretty sure it's 3 days. Maybe I'm on day 4. I can't remember. The first few days were a blur because I could not remove myself from the lounge. I just was practically unconscious the whole time. It's not COVID. It's just a aggressive flu. I've never had anything like that before. It was pretty feral. But anyway, I have done 2 rounds of the Bondo on the top here because the first round was good. It filled it in, but I needed it a little bit above the surface so I could sand it back down to the surface when it's flat. So let's get sanding. I know that this is going to bleed, and I'll show you some of the oils and tannins that I could see coming up that I know will come up if I just paint over it. So once I've sanded this back, I'm going to put some shellac on the top. Then once that is dry, I can paint this guy and get to the fun part. So I've applied a little heat and you can see the oils coming up through the wood grain. That, when you apply a water-based top coat, will come up and show up in the little spots like this in your finish, and you don't want that. So we're going to seal it all in with shellac. Shellac is also a really great way to seal in the wood. Not only just the tannins, but for future, if you have a change of heart and you want to sand back the top to raw wood, you could do that and then do some sort of decorative feature. But shellac is a great way to seal in the wood and stop the paint from penetrating right down into the wood. Okay, I did 2 rounds of shellac on just the top and 1 round of the shellac on here just to cover up any exposed wood. What I'm going to do now is give it all a really light sand with a 220 grit sandpaper to just scuff up the surface a little bit to give the paint something to adhere to. I am starting upside down. I'm going to be doing a first layer of DIY paint in Sandy Blonde, because that's the layer I want to peek through, starting upside down, just so I can get all the places underneath. I'm so sad, you guys. The best part of cracking open a DIY can of paint is smelling it for me. Okay, maybe it's not the best part, but it's one of the parts. And I can't smell it because of the stupid cold. Debbie and her paint have stolen my heart. They are #1 in my book. If you were interested in trying out DIY paint, use my affiliate link below. That lets them know that you've been watching my videos and were inspired to buy her paint. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going in with vintage linen in the DIY, and I'm using Paint Pixie brush. Alright, so we are learning together here. Paint inlays are new to me, even though they've been around for a year. they are new to me. So, from what I have learned, okay, you can see, sorry, on the paper here, how it is brighter. Then on this side, it's a lot lighter, and there's actually a pattern on the back, whatever that is, whatever that's called. I can't think of anything right now. My brain is gone numb. Okay, I want to line them all up. There are 8 sheets in a thing, and I've got to figure out how best to line them up. Okay. It's a 2 repeating pattern. Okay, so this is wrong. And then I'm going to figure out somehow. There we go. No. Hold on. I'll figure it out and I'll come back to you. Okay, I figured it out. Here it is. This is the pattern, but it's face up. This is paint side up. I had to work it out that way. I'm going to cut them. Actually, I don't need to cut them because I'm only going to do paint to the edging here. I'm going to cut these 2. These are the only 2 that I need to cut. Now I need to flip them over because that's the way it's going to go once I do the next step. I do need to trim off, there's like a couple of millimeters edging around everything, so I'm just going to cut along these edges. I'm going to work in one section at a time. I'm going to line up the grid. That's the word I was looking for before that I couldn't find. I'm going to line up this grid with the middle and the very top edge of the top of the coffee table. It should be, and it looks straight, so I'm about 2 grids here and 2 grids down the side. And then from there, everything else will just line up with this piece of paper. Make sure that the section is wet with paint. And I've not done it in some of these sections, and what I'm going to do is mist it with water. I'm going to mist it all with water. and just let it sit for a second, because this is DIY paint and it's all natural. It's chalk and clay based paint. It will reactivate with water. So I'm wanting the parts that I didn't get white paint to reactivate with water, because I want that look under. Come around. We're at about 2 and 2 and 2 there. Oh no. Well, that's okay. As long as it's lined up. Nope, it's about 1 and 2. Okay, best laid plans and all that. Good thing I didn't cut the edges off. Okay. So, going to make sure I get it all down into the paint by using the brayer. If you don't have one, that's fine. You could just continue to use your hands, but they say this is a great way to get it all down in there. And it's already working brilliantly, I just saw it. Okay. Once you lay it down, you're committed to it. You can't maneuver it around, otherwise you'll smudge it. And I may have smudged it here, but I guess we'll see. What am I doing? Oh yeah. The next thing I saw the girls do was just to wet the top and then let it dry. Okay? Right, while that's drying, I'm going to move on to this one. Okay, I'm going to let that dry. It says 10 minutes to an hour. It needs to be it needs to be dry to the touch. Excuse me. It could take longer because we're at almost 7 o'clock tonight. We're almost at 7 o'clock and the night air is set in. It could take a little while longer for it to dry. So all that to say is I'll leave it to dry, and then once it's dry, I'll come back and I'll do the next step. So I'll see you in a second. All right, it's been an hour. It was dry. I've now sprayed the top again. It needs to be damp, they say, when you pull it up. So, here we go. Oh my word. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That looks so good. Here it was still wet under the paper, so it all came up. But if you are not the chippy, vintage, cracked finish kind of look, then you're probably not going to enjoy this finish. But if you are, you're gonna love it. I'm not quite done making touch-ups. I don't like how you can see, I don't know if you can see a little bit too much. So I'm just going to go around and make touch-ups and leave brush strokes and all the things. I've just dressed as much as I want to just dress, and I've done the legs and everything as well. It's just the sides that I want to fix up a little bit. And I'm going to go in the opposite direction. I went that way last time, and I'm going to come in the other way. At the beginning of the month, I had mentioned that I was going to cut back to 3 videos. If you've been counting, this is video number 3. Next week, there will be a video, but it's not a full video like today. It is going to be a quick 5-minute video, some things that I have had on a list that I've been wanting to make short form videos for. So that is coming out next week. So I will release that on my regular day. I won't be premiering the video, but please hit that bell notification, and when you get notified that the video goes up, go and check it out. That would be amazing. It certainly helps keep me in the algorithm, the YouTube algorithm, so it doesn't forget about me. All right, couple of things that I think I would have done differently. Actually, there's only really one thing that I would have done differently. I would have given it more time to dry. I probably would have left the paper on there overnight, especially with clay-based paint that reactivates with water. I would have let it dry more than an hour. Probably would have left it on there and dried it overnight. I think I remember a video where Debbie used these and she let hers dry overnight. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, because of the peel up of the white. But that is why I did first layer in the sandy blonde, because if I did get any peeling up, or not if, when, because the videos that I've watched, the IOD, the inlays do take up some paint. So if you're laying paint down, letting you know, it will come up a little bit on your sheet. So knowing that, that's why I did a base layer of the sandy blonde. But I'm really happy with it. It is definitely ticks all the boxes of shabby and chippy and vintage and just rustic looking, which you guys all know. I absolutely adore that look. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's okay. I had fun working with these. If you guys are interested in trying these out, I got mine from Jamie Ray Vintage. You can order IODs from her. That's it, really. All right, you guys, I love you to pieces. If you've been wanting to try something like this, go for it. I say, just give it a try. Why not? And just remember to have fun when you're doing it. That's one of the most important things about doing this sort of stuff. All right, love you to pieces, and I will see you in April, the beginning of April, first week in April. All right, you guys, love ya. Bye.